Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world-famous Improv, America's original comedy showcase and restaurant. To ensure quality performance for everyone, we do ask that you refrain from yelling out at the stage and keep your table conversations to a minimum. We also ask that you turn off all of your cell phones, and there is absolutely no photography or recording devices of any kind. Now that I've got these few rules out of the way, are you guys ready for a great show? All right, coming to the stage, an Ontario favorite. Make it loud for Eric Blake.
What's up, Ontario? How y'all doing? No, I'm talking to everybody. What's up, Ontario? How y'all doing? Cool. Thank you very much for coming out. For those that don't know me, my name is Eric Blake. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. That's right. Let the crowd say yay, yay. Let's try that one more time. I know we got a few white folks in the crowd. I know y'all messed that up. No, y'all mess that up all the time. Y'all go, hey, hey. And I know some Latinos in the audience. Y'all do that right all the time. I know y'all got that. So let's try that one more time. Yay, yay. That was nice, okay? White people, I just taught you something, all right? You ever in South Central Los Angeles, you see some gangbangers coming your way, you hit them with a yay, yay. You scare the crap out these dudes. They're like, it's the police, let me get up on over here. Yes, I grew up in the ghetto part of South Central, too. I grew up in the part where the mailman doesn't really deliver the mail. Yeah, you know, he just kind of throws it in the middle of a field like, y'all sort that stuff out. You know your neighborhood is ghetto where you can watch cops live from your front porch? I'm keeping that joke, forget y'all. Whatever you do, don't hold back on the laughter, all right? It turns into gas. Yeah, you step outside and go, oh, he was funny. He got stuck right there. Watching the news the other day, saw Detective Mark Furman. Anybody remember Detective Mark Furman from the O.J. Simpson trial? Saw this dude on the news the other day. He got mad at Serena Williams because she did the little sea walk dance. You know the little sea walk dance? He got mad that she did that dance. He said that she shouldn't do that, that is a gang ritual that gangbangers do after they shot someone in a drive-by. I've been around gangs all my life. I have yet to see a brother get out the car and be like, oh, I got that dude. You never see a cholo get out the car and stab somebody. Oh, I got that dude, huh? You never see a redneck shoot somebody and start river dancing. Got that. He dead, ain't he? You just make up your own job title. He just made up a job out of thin air. He just, I'm a gang. You know what he said? Mark Furman said he is no longer a police officer. He's what he called himself, a gang specialist. A gang? What is a gang specialist? How you just make up a job out of thin air? I can't do that as a black man. I can't go to NASA and be like, hey, I want to work here. They're going to be like, what do you do? I specialize in rocks. I'd be like, what kind of rocks? Earth rocks, moon rocks? Crack rocks, player, crack rocks. Y'all paying $20 million to send people to the moon? I can send them for $5. And they'll never have to leave the earth. Tell you a little bit more about myself. I love being ghetto. I love being ghetto fabulous. I'm the only one. I was watching the people come in. I know there's some more ghetto people in here. Quit trying to front like I'm the only one. You know, see, I throw a food stamp on the ground and bust some people out right now. I know y'all remember food stamps. Come on now. No, we're good white folks. I know y'all may not know. Some of y'all see a food stamp. Y'all think it's Monopoly money. Like, oh my God, it's Monopoly money. You let us. Is that a food stamp? That is not a food stamp. Hold on, let me check, dog. Hold on. Yep, that's a food stamp. Real ghetto people over here, y'all still fronting like y'all know what I'm talking about. Come on, Mexicans, y'all could have backed me up on that joke. I know y'all know what a food stamp is. You know how I know y'all know? Because the Paleta man take food stamps too. For the people that don't know who the Paleta man is, the Mexican man in your neighborhood with the ice cream truck with no truck, that brother. See, I grew up ghetto fabulous, right? And my mother was ghetto to the ninth power, right? And I love my mama, and she in the 90s, she knows she just as ghetto as me. My mama, you know your mother's ghetto when she try to put a food stamp in a soda machine? Oh, we don't know. She laughed at that a little bit too hard. She's like, I tried that too. But I love my mom because she raised me right. God bless you, Mom, for raising me right. She made me blessed, raised me right, but to be able to change my life, to make different steps in life. And now I made my different steps in life. Here I am, a full-grown man, changed my world. I used to be a rough thug, street dude on the street doing all the things that I used to do. And God bless this woman to help me change my life because she implanted good morals in me. Good morals in me that came right back. But this is what's wrong with America today. You know what's wrong with America today? Because a lot of kids are not being held and raised to some of the same standards that we were held when we were growing up. They're not taught like we were taught. Before I get into these jokes, let me see what I'm dealing with. For instance, I grew up in the 80s. 80s babies make some noise. If you grew up in the 80s, cool. What about 60s? What about 70s babies? 70s? What about 60s? 60s? You grew up in the 60s. It's y'all bedtime. Go on, take it down right now. I'm joking. No, if you grew up back in the 80s and back, chances are you grew up in a time where parents were real parents and were not afraid to be parents. Not like the new millennium parents we got today. Show what I'm talking about. First joke. I was at my sister's house the other day. I watched my nephew take one bite of the hot dog and throw the rest in the trash. We tried that on our parents when we were growing up. What? Our parents would have lost their mind. They'd have been like, who in here got another job besides me? No, who got two jobs that they could throw a half a hot dog in the trash? Bro, I asked my nephew, I said, why you throw the hot dog in the trash? You know what he said? Because we didn't have any more hot dog buns. I didn't know hot dogs came on the bun until I was 15 years old. Come on, 80s, 70s, 60s, and 50s babies, when we grew up, we didn't have any hot dog buns. What do we use? Bread. Dang right we use bread. Mama and them, we didn't even have the good bread. We had the cheap Weber bread. Remember the Weber bread? Remember the Wonder Bread you stick to the top of your mouth? Took you 3 days to eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Remember that bread? We know why they call it Wonder Bread, right? Because you wonder if you're going to be able to swallow the sandwich. Our parents taught us to make use of everything we had when we were growing up. We couldn't throw food in the trash, right? One time I threw an empty mayonnaise jar in the trash. Remember the empty mayonnaise jar? I threw it in the trash, and my mother was like, who threw this cup in the trash? I was like, cup? Mama, that's a mayonnaise jar. She said, it's a cup. Get it out. Wash it. Young kids, you have no clue how good you got it. Our parents were true parents. You know our parents were true parents because they wasn't trying to like us. They wasn't trying to like us first. They didn't care if we liked them or not. They were always teaching us. I was in a store the other day. I watched this kid throw a tantrum when his mother told him no. It was a simple no. Y'all's like, what's wrong with that? The kid was 17 years old. Yeah, he's like, Mom, can I get this? She was like, no, James. He's like, dang, Ma, shoot, dang. What? Our parents gave us a speech before we went to the store. You remember that speech, that you don't want nothing speech, where they got right in your face? Come here. You don't want nothing. Don't ask for nothing. Don't you touch nothing. Won't be nothing. How many ever do this? How many ever forget and try to ask for some stuff and messed around and touched something your parents gave you to stare? You remember that stare. You remember that look, because that's the last thing you remember before you blacked out. Remember that look? You ever forget me like, Mama, can I get this? Like, uh-oh. Last time she looked at me like that, I got knocked out in Zodi's and woke up in Kmart. Zodi's, look at some of the older heads. Look at the young people. What is a Zodi's? Can you play with it? Look how she look. I don't know what a Zodi's is. Young people, Zodi's was a store that our parents used to shop at and get cheap clothes. See, y'all think y'all invented the skinny jeans. No, our era invented the skinny jeans. That's right. Our clothes used to be so cheap, they used to shrink on us while we were wearing them. You ever had a pair of corduroy jeans so tight you fart, it come out the back of your collar? You couldn't even play hide and go seek because people can hear you coming. Tap that with the brother with the corduroy jeans on. Are y'all ready to get this comedy show started? Let me say yeah! For the people, a lot of people that may not know why we're here, one of the reasons why we're here is because a couple of years ago, I started a group of kids and started teaching them comedy, and I'm so proud of these kids. They came a long way, and I love them to death. They're all so funny, so I need you guys to show them some love, let them know you're out here. Give them a round of applause. Please let them know you're out here as I bring my kids to the stage to do their comedy show for you tonight. I work for a company called AspiraNet, and AspiraNet it teaches former foster youth kids that are making transitions from foster homes into the world. And one of the things that we taught them was how to do comedy and be funny and to take some of their issues and bring them to the stage, which I think is a beautiful thing. And I noticed that some of the things that they were saying was just so hilarious that I had to help them with this stuff. So we're gonna give this one more round of applause for them while I bring them to the stage. My first brother's coming to the stage, man. I love this dude, man. I brought him to the stage first because he's just so funny, man. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy this dude. He writes, Patrick is a young, charismatic, single father with a witty attitude. He's half black, something of an artist from Southern California. He's a real crowd pleaser, and Patrick believes that comedy is not only comes from experience, but also through spirituality. I'm nervous and I got big lips, okay? Spirituality. He believes his purpose in life was to entertain. This dude is very, very funny. Y'all give it up for the one and only, my man from Southern California, Mr. Patrick. Y'all get up for your Pat.
I spin. It's mine. I spin. It's mine. I spin. It's mine. I spin. I'm riding around no V.I.O. smoke.
Good evening, Ontario. Make some noise. How y'all doing? All right. I'm not 12, I promise. My name is Patrick Rush. I like to be called Pat, keep everything short and simple, like me. I come from a big family. Let me tell you about myself. I come from a big family. I have 30 brothers and sisters. Oh, wow. No lie. Okay. My mom had 5. And my dad never heard of condoms. Growing up, we didn't have names, y'all. We didn't have names, we were numbers. My dad, he'd be like, hey, come here. Number 22. Give me the remote. Can you hand me the remote? It'd be frustrating. I'm like, which one is? That's you. You better go. For somebody get there, their butt whooped, you know what I'm saying? Nah, but I'm a father. Any parents in the house? Make some noise, you know what I'm saying? That's a good thing, being a parent. Yeah, I have a little girl. I thought it was going to be hard at first doing it on my own, being a single parent, you know. But, it's kind of cool. Shopping is easy because we wear the same size clothes. We shop at Baby Gap. She be like, Daddy, these shoes for me? I'm like, no, them is mine. Her mom is crazy, man. Her mom's so crazy. You ever try to break up with somebody and they tell you no? I was so confused. I was like, I don't think we should be together anymore. This isn't working out. She goes, your lease ain't up. You ain't going nowhere. I was like, what? How do you respond to that? That is crazy. I was confused for real. But nah. I left that alone. I'm glad, thank God. Real? What you mean, no? But I used to live in Redlands, California. Anybody from Redlands? Thank you, one person over there. I used to live in Redlands, you know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful place, nicest place I ever lived in. At least I thought it was till my apartment got broken into. I was like, quiet. Yeah, I came home, I was like, why is the door kicked in? I had to ask myself this, because, when something bad happens to you, you hope it's not real. You be like, man, I hope this is a dream. I walked in the door, I stepped in, I had to step back out. I was like, make sure I'm in the right spot. This is my home. I walked in, I was like, man, I gotta find out what's going on. I walked in, TV was gone, PlayStation gone, games was gone. I know, right? And let me get to the punchline. Yeah, everything was gone, man. But they had the nerve to leave the damn remote. I was hot. I'm like, why? What I'm gonna do with this? There's this big ghosty outline. I'm just clicking. Yeah, I'm from South Central where that kind of stuff is normal. Hey, man, gangbang, man. First time I went to South Central, I didn't know about the gangs. My mom was real good at keeping that from me. All I knew was school, home, cleaning up. Nothing about anything bad in life. I went to LA, man, went to the park. This dude walks up to me and said, where you from, cuz? I said, cuz? We cousins? Man, I was like, whoa, I had to find out what this dude was about, you know what I'm saying? So I Googled gangbanging. And I found out it had two meanings. Yeah, man. And I was really like, I'm really confused. I'm still confused because nobody knows why Crips and Bloods hate each other. Does anybody know? That's what I thought. So I put together a game show. I put them on Family Feud, Crips and Bloods. I did that. I really did. So I had the Crips on the left, Bloods on the right. So I went to the Crips. I said, hey, all right, this is the show. Okay, this is the show. I go, all right, Mr. Crip, name something you have in your home. And he's thinking real hard. He goes, well, we got roaches, cuz. And I'm like, okay. Survey says, roaches. And he got number 2. I'm like, oh, okay. Double meaning, double points. I go to the Blood. I go, hey, okay, Mr. Blood, name something you have in your home. And he goes, he's thinking. He goes, a stolen TV. I go, what brand? I got one more joke before I get off the stage. One more joke. Anybody vote this year? I voted for the first time. Yeah. So I'm sitting at home watching the presidential debate, and Obama won. Obama won. And my daughter is off sitting in the corner playing with Elmo in a diaper, and I walk up to her, and the diaper's full of crap. And I'm going, oh, what you doing? She goes, you know the guy who wanted to get rid of Sesame Street and lost? I go, yeah. She goes, this for him. Thank you, guys. I'm out.
Come on, y'all. One more time for Patrick. Microphone check. All right, your next performer has come to the stage. She's very, very witty, highly energetic. I love this girl. She has a beautiful story, man, and her smile warms my heart. Y'all give it up for my girl, the one, the only, Shamantia! Come on, y'all!
Hello, everybody. My name is Shamantia, and it's very, very hard to pronounce. So I broke it down in acronym form. Bear with me. Sha as in shut your mouth. Mon as in Jamaican Mon. And Tia as in Tia and Tamara. Thank you. So I was asked if I could describe my life in a title, what would it be? And I came up with a beautiful disaster. So during spring break, I was with my best friend a few years ago, and I became a victim of a crime. I went to a house party, and at this house party, I got shot in my left butt cheek. So, let me describe the party. So there was 2 wrong things with the house. As soon as I went to the house had the audacity to be small and packed. The house was so small that as soon as I stepped in the front door, I swore up and down I was already at the back. I was like, what the heck? What the... So then he was like, you know what, this isn't the scene. This is not where we want to be. Let's go ahead and leave. So we decided to take a break. When we took the break, we was like, okay. We came back. We was like, we turned up. So as soon as I walk in, I heard my song, and it was Roscoe Dash, all the way turned up, like, hey, all the way turned up. I was like, let's go to the after party. So then my friends were like, let's just go. So then, we was like, okay, so we started to walk out. Now, ladies, when you trying to look cute and your feet hurting in your heels, I started walking, I got cramps in my toes. I was like, ooh, why is my toes scraping the street? What the heck is wrong with me? Then all of a sudden I heard bang, bang. I was like, ooh, they got fireworks for Easter? Then this boy was like, get down. I was like, I don't want your number, move. He was like, get down, Ma, get down. So I was like, ooh, he must really love me. So I get down, and then all of a sudden I hear bang, bang. I was like, ooh. Then I was like, oh yeah, that's my boo. Then this black Altima pulled up. And when this black Altima pulled up, my boo rushed in the car, so I said, let me go ahead and get in with him. So I got in the front seat, and I told the driver, I said, take me with you. He said, what? Get in the back seat. So I said, okay. So I climbed over, I got in the back seat. When I got in the back seat, I was like, okay. He was like, hey, Ma, what's your name? Where you from? Where you want to go? You want a cheeseburger? I said, I want the hospital. He said, the hospital? I said, yeah, I want the hospital. I'm about to die. He was like, girl, we scared too. Don't worry. He turned on the light. He looked in the back. He said, my son left all that ketchup in the back seat. I said, fool, I'm about to die. So they started panicking, and my boo next to me, he said, let me call the police. So he pulled out his phone, and he was like, oh my God, they not answering me, bro. They not answering me. So I snatched the phone, and I look at it. It say 119. I'm really about to die. So then the driver, he started panicking, and he stopping at all the lights, and I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, we got an excuse. He like, girl, I got warrants. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying tonight. So then we was in the car, and the guy was told to put pressure on my wound. So I bent over, and he lifted up my dress, and he was like, girl, you know you got all them holes in your drawers? Really? So when we pulled up to the hospital, the nurses took me in. They took me to the back, and they rushed me, and they started the procedure. They started taking off all my clothes. The only thing I was worried about was all 0.5 of my carats. I was like, please don't take my chains. Don't take my chains. So then I said, call my mommy, call my mommy. So the doctor went in the back, and he said, okay, she didn't answer. I said, okay, call the cell phone. So then he came back, and he said she didn't answer. I said, dang, I turned off all the ringers on the phone before I snuck out. I'm really gonna die. So then the doctor, he said, okay, we gotta rush you to the back. Let's get you an emergency surgery. So then I signed my life away. He said, think of a happy place you want to be. I said, okay, there's always a place for a G, Thug Mansion. So when I woke up, I was in the overflow room in the morgue. I really thought I was in the morgue because there's a bunch of empty beds. I was like, where am I at? So then my parents came rushing towards me, and they was like, oh, baby, we love you, a coochie coochie coo, oh, it's okay. I'm like, I'm so sorry. They was like, it's okay. So then it was like, my dad was like, we're going to come and see you in a little bit. We're going to see you when you wake up. I said, okay. So then they started to walk off, and then all of a sudden, my mom, she stopped, and she looked at me, and she said, but when you get home, you gon' die. Thank you, everybody. God bless.
In mine, I spin. In mine, I spin. In mine, I spin. I'm riding around, I'm doing it.
This last one coming to the stage is one of my students that's been with me the whole entire time. Very, very hilarious. I love her. She is so funny. You guys are going to see great things from this next performer. Give it up for the one, the only, Michelle Rogers. Come on, y'all. Give it up.
I spin. In mine, I spin. In mine, I spin.
How you guys doing tonight? I shouldn't say tonight, knowing it's dark in here. It's like, what, 1 o'clock? It's not even happy hour yet. Well, I come from a small town called Vingo County, Indiana. If anybody ever were to Google map it, all you will see is an empty field and a redneck on a quad. Welcome to America! Well, the night I was taken from my mother, it was about like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we hear a knock on the door. And where I lived, it was 29 Palms, and the nearest neighbor I had was 2 miles away. So we kind of figured it wasn't our neighbors walking 2 miles for a cup of sugar. So my mom, she gets up and she goes to the door. And my mom's high. She's like, she goes to the door. She's like, oh. Hey, officers. Come on in, have some drugs. Have to go hide my milk and cookies. I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, that's what you're gonna go with? Really? Have some milk? Really? But we got taken that night, and I was placed in my first foster home, and they're Jamaican. I walk in, and I see this really tall lady, and she's slumped over, and she's like, hey, girl, your room is over there. And I'm like, no, hi? Okay. So I see this really dark hallway, and I'm like, okay, she's gonna kill me. Well, I find the door, and I go in, and I immediately crash. I'm always the first to wake up in my family, so I wake up, and I get nosy. I stick my head out the door, and I look, and I'm just like, this house ain't that big. But I noticed from the corner of my eye, there's a white boy washing his clothes with a washboard, and I'm like sitting here thinking, isn't this the 21st century? Isn't there a washer and dryer somewhere in this house? No. Well, later that evening, I had my first meal there, and it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm just like, really? This is dinner? I look on my plate, and I notice a few things, like the cornbread, and I think were dumplings, and some jerk chicken that looked like pretty much what's on her plate. But it looked like something the dog threw up, pretty much. Sorry, if you don't eat that anymore, I understand. But what really questioned me was this green stuff. It was collard greens. Back then, I didn't know what it was. And my brother goes and he leans over and he's like, hey, is this grass on my plate? And I look at him, I'm like, yeah, doesn't it look like she mowed her lawn and put it on her plate? Well, 3 years passed, and I got placed in my second home, the Ibarras. When we first got there, it was so cool because they had this really big TV, and it was surround sound, so we started watching all these movies. I'm like, yeah, I hit the jackpot! But, like, around 3 o'clock, I hear the lady come home from work, and she has her heels going down the hall, and she turns her head over the corner, and she has his face, and she's telling her husband, like, hey, I ordered turkeys. I didn't know they're going to be white. And I'm like sitting over here, hey, I like your TV. A few minutes passed, I hear some noise coming out of the room I put my stuff in. So I go in the room and she's going through my trash bags. Just like, hey, what are you doing in there? She's like, oh, I'm just getting rid of the stuff you don't need. And I'm like, don't you think you need to ask me what I don't need? But she pulls out this second grade sneakers I had. They're Chucks. And I'm like, hey, I want those. I ran away from a lot of bullies in those. They're precious to me. You know, I want to put them on the wall. She's like, well, you don't fit them. And I'm like, you don't fit that T-shirt, but I don't tell you anything. Well, later that evening, we went to Jack in the Box for the first meal, and this is the first time I've ever been to a fast food restaurant, and it's Jack in the Box. I'm like, really? You couldn't take me to Olive Garden? But I'm sitting there, and she leans over, and she's like, order everything you want on the menu, yeah? And I go up to the menu, and I'm like, Jumbo Jack, curly fries, 99-cent tacos. Is there any grass here? Well, thank you guys for coming today.
One more time for Michelle Rogers, you guys.